Future Rachel here. I am here to explain what this video is about. I realized I never made an intro. So my name is Rachel Tapp. I'm a life coach. I help people find their purpose in 90 days. And I'm taking you on the journey of me deciding to move from living in the country to in the city in Vancouver. Part of it is my personal story, but also the tools and things I use as a coach to help me through this process of change. So I hope you enjoy. I'm about to get on my last call in this space. And as you can see behind me, I pack only the essentials and my VHS collection. Yes, I have come to the realization that I should have packed sooner, and I have 2 days left. And I think the rest of my night is going to be filled with packing and realizing even more that I have stuff that I didn't think I had, that I didn't think I needed. So stay tuned for that. Well, I've made a bit of an error. I thought I had all day also to pack tomorrow until I got a text from the woman who's cleaning my house, and she will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's 4:30, and I'm about to pack the rest of my house so when she comes in, she can do all the cleaning that she needs. You're now gonna watch me pack my stuff way quicker than I wanted to. I hope you enjoy. So my decision to move was not just based on work. My lifestyle compared to a lot of my friends around here is very different. Settling down, having kids, I'm not in that place, so let's find somewhere that fits more where I am, which is the city. I know myself well enough to know that moving into the city, yes, it will be a big change, especially like with noise and stuff, but I know I'll be able to handle it because I trust myself, which is a huge thing. I actually help a lot of clients build trust in themselves in order to be able to do things they didn't believe they could. For example, a couple years ago, I was really anxious driving into the city, like constantly anxious. And it was kind of the only thing that stressed me out that much. And I just kept making myself do it. Even if I was stressed out, it helped. I did have markets down there when I used to sell vintage clothing. And so I kind of just had to keep driving down there. I know for sure that I would not be moving there if I hadn't pushed myself to drive down there so often, because I was scared, and that was okay that I was scared because I was doing it anyway. If you're wondering why I'm putting my clothes in a bag like this, if you sell vintage clothing, you know. This is how we would all pack our clothes. Not all of us, but a lot of us would pack our clothes to take them to markets. I had my birthday just before I was moving, and I think there was 15 of us there, and we were sitting at dinner after playing badminton, and I looked at all my friends and I realized that I can't believe I'm leaving these people who have supported me through countless things. The last year, my mom passed away, countless breakups over the years. I've known some of these people since I was 5 years old. And it wasn't an easy decision, and I think some people thought it was because it was a quick decision. But just because you make a quick decision and it feels aligned doesn't mean it's easy. And I just have to trust that I know that what's meant for me on the other side of moving will be there. I know this is a little more scattered than I really intended it to be. I do think there's so much power in listening to your intuition, even if people disagree, even if you feel a little unsure or scared. I know a part of me is really nervous to move. I have really great friends and they live very close. And yes, they can still come and drive and see me, but the distance changes things. Some of them have kids, so they're not as available. But whenever I'm downtown, I feel like more of myself. And I think that's an important thing to listen to. When you are doing something or with someone and you feel more yourself, spend more time doing that, spend more time with that person. And if you don't feel like there are those things, find them. And I would say the best way to find them is to think of things that you used to do as a child that you enjoyed. But I'm curious, how hard is it to make friends? What's it like living in a completely different environment? And I want to walk through all of that with you from the lens of a life coach. And what am I thinking? What am I doing? Like right now, I'm just really excited to go. I'm a little bit stressed that I have to be able to pack my entire house in this evening, but I didn't feel this way a couple days ago. Actually, I felt not that I was making a mistake, but that it wasn't real, that I just felt off. A lot of my bad habits were coming back. And I think that often happens when we're about to make a really big change, a really big shift in our life. Our brains are trying to be like, no, this isn't safe. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, stay in the safe area. Do all these things that make you feel safe, even though they're bad for you. And that part of my brain was winning. And you know, the funny thing is that stopped when I drove into the city for another event. And I was like, no, I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to be here. Even if it's uncomfortable for a while, there are things there that I don't have access to here, and things that I need and want. And in reality, like, a lot of my future is there. And so if there's a big change you're wanting to make, just go after it. If you want to start a new business, if you want to move, there are so many people that will tell you not to do those things, but a lot of those people are the ones that haven't tried themselves. And those are not the people you want to listen to. Absolutely not. So I'm excited for you guys to all join this journey. Starting off chaotic. I think we'll get a little bit more grounded and get more thoughts and stuff and more coaching tools and techniques as we go along. But right now, because of my time crunch. All right, so I left the gym, and it's the last time I will be working out in the mornings there. Oh, what is this mess? So I just left the gym for the last time, I guess. And I felt pretty sad, and I knew that would be the case. I've been going there for 2.5 or 3 years, and that's my social time. I work for myself. I live alone. I do work with clients, but I'm by myself a lot, and a lot of my social time really is in the morning. And I anticipate this will be probably one of my biggest adjustments, is going to a new gym and trying to build community and have people that I can even just wave at, say hi to, talk a little bit to. So a little sad, allowing myself to be sad, which is so important. The more we deny our emotions, the stronger they get, because they are trying to tell us something. Those people are important to me. I saw them every day for years. And it's a little tough. And yeah, stay tuned for what that looks like on the other side when I don't have that and when I'm learning to build that. I thought this would be a fun place to explain my story, but I'm thinking it's not, because it's so loud. Look at these giant things. I just got back from working out at my gym for the first time, and I will say I've been working out since I was 17, and no matter what, going to a new gym is weird. It feels awkward. You don't know anyone. You don't know where anything is. You're looking around like you're lost, like you've never been to the gym. And today was the same, and that's okay. I think my biggest hurdle was talking to people. So for me, because I work alone, besides with clients, I spend so much time by myself, and the gym's actually a place that I, like, most of my social life is, at least it was in the morning. So, because there's days that if I don't see my friends, I'm not talking to anyone unless it's a client. Yeah, so I forced myself to talk to people. I didn't really want to. I was like, you know what, I'll take the first day, like, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm gonna be here every morning. I should start making friends. So I actually talked to 3 people today. They seem super friendly. They kind of talk to each other quite a bit. So starting that, but yeah, I think there's just a hurdle there that there are certain things you just have to force yourself to do. And I think talking to people, especially in public and meeting people like that, is one of those things. So finding common ground is kind of the way that I like to do that in those situations. These 2 guys were using a machine that I know like a little trick on. And I was like, oh yeah, if you turn this way, do this. And so they tried it. And so we started a conversation, and then they told this other girl about it, and she started talking to me. So I wouldn't use, at least for the gym, don't correct people. But if you like have a fun way to use a machine, why not? But finding any common ground, I feel like, is a helpful tip when talking to someone. So if you're like in a bookstore, they pick up a book you like, those kind of things. I've come across something actually kind of unexpected. The fact that I'm comparing so much of how things are here to where I used to live, I feel like I'm very critical right now of, oh, like, this isn't the same, this isn't working, I'm like not used to this. And I just realized I'm like, I will get used to these things. Like leaving to drive anywhere, I realize now, oh yeah, I can't just walk out my door and into my garage. I gotta go down a bunch of floors. I gotta go to my car. I gotta go through all the gates in order to leave. It's just different. It's not worse or better. And reminding myself of that in the moment instead of being like, oh, like, this is so annoying, or cooking is different. It's just like, no, I'm learning to live in a different environment. And there's gonna be hurdles, but if I keep comparing and thinking about things that were easier where I used to live, because the lifestyle there was different, I'm going to be unhappy. And I think we forget that if we compare ourselves to other things, other people, other situations, we're going to be unhappy. So if you find yourself complaining a lot about a situation that you're in, A, change the situation. B, learn to accept how this is, and C, maybe there's things that are better about this that you're just not used to yet. Think about it. But yeah, that was something I didn't really expect, to be comparing so much and being frustrated with little things. It's just a very different lifestyle here. And my place is a little bit smaller, and I'm learning to adjust and realizing things are just going to take a little bit longer because I don't have any habits here. Everything's new, everything's in different places. I went to go to the washroom and I walked into my closet and I was like, this is not the washroom. So these things just take time, especially if you're in a new environment. But really thinking, if I stop comparing, I can actually see where the good is in this situation. So look at your situation and try and take it from a little bit of a different point of view and see if that helps your internal experience of it. So this morning on the way to the gym, I realized that my 6 a.m. brain is not used to so much going on right when I leave the house. My other place, I would drive like 5 minutes before I'd even see a car. And there was definitely no people on the road. But here, I first of all don't know how to get to the gym without a GPS. And for some reason, the GPS around here decides to take me in like 12 different ways every time I go anywhere. And I'm also not used to people walking all black and crossing the street. So we did avoid something bad this morning, but my 6 a.m. brain is not ready to look for cars, people dressed in all black, bikes, and then park in the tiniest parking spot you've ever seen in your life. I feel like I had a little bit of a breaking point this morning when I tried to park my car in an underground, and I couldn't open my door because the spot was so small. And I was just like, I hate this place. And I told myself I know this was coming, I know that there's going to be hard adjustments. It's okay. Let's just readjust. So what I want to talk to you about is self-trust. And I have built a lot of self-trust with myself that I would be able to figure out whatever situation that I'm in without freaking out and getting too overwhelmed to actually make a choice. And I did that by just doing things that were consistently difficult. I know I've talked before about being really anxious when I used to drive around here, and I don't think I would actually be able to live here if I hadn't continued to drive out here and get used to it. And so when these things happen, when I get lost, which has happened every day, and I just tell myself, okay, like I'm gonna figure it out, because I've watched myself figure everything out so far in my life and watched myself do difficult things and showed up and consistently showed up for myself. And that is a huge part of creating self-trust with yourself. So if you tell yourself to do something and you don't do it, that trust is never going to be there, because when we have people that tell us they're going to do something and they don't show up, eventually we don't trust them. It's the same with yourself. And so I'm just reminding myself in these moments, like, I figured everything out before this. I'll figure it out now. It's okay. If I'm late, if something happens, like, as long as we're not hitting anyone on the street. But yeah, if there's things that you've wanted to do and you've told yourself to do, it's important to start doing those things, because you are not only doing the things that you want to, you're also creating self-trust, so your brain understands that when you tell yourself to do something, you'll actually do it. Super, super important. But yeah, I think this has been the toughest morning so far, and I knew there would be adjustments. I knew that there's just so much more stimulus here and things that I have to pay attention to. Like, nobody bikes that much where I live, at least not when it's like raining and stuff. So, or where I used to live, sorry. It's all part of it. And it'll get easier, and I'll figure out how to drive to the gym without a GPS soon. All right, this is how we're gonna close out the video, with more story time. Yesterday was hard. I think it was the first day that I didn't hang out with anyone, and I definitely felt it. I felt like a little bit lonely in this sense, not like permanently alone in the world, kind of lonely, but just realizing like, all right, I'm starting over. I know very few people here. And so yeah, I was a little bit sad. I'm tired, I think, because you have to think through everything you do. Like, normally you get up in the morning and you do the same routine. Those routines don't exist. So now I have to literally think about every single step of my day, especially with driving. And yeah, so I'm definitely tired from that. And I'm experiencing this weird, where lots of little things going wrong. It's to the point where it's like kind of funny, like just kind of not everything. I don't like when people say like, oh, everything's going wrong, but like a lot of very small details. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's not me. And I think we often think, oh yeah, like when you live in alignment, everything will fall together. Everything will, not necessarily. This is happening for a reason. Some of it's because I think my brain is overloaded with having to like think about every single detail of everything, but some of it's just part of life. I'm looking at it as it's testing my patience, it's testing my comfort zone, it's forcing me to be like, it's okay, I'm gonna find solutions. Every time I get lost, I'm gonna figure it out. And another side note that's been like slightly funny, but like not really. I worked out my legs a couple days ago, actually yesterday, very hard, and my legs hurt so bad. And there's so much walking here, and I'm not used to walking, so dying a little bit as I'm walking. My cardio is improving. There's a bonus there. Yeah, I think mindset-wise, just realizing a month from now, I'm not gonna feel this way. This isn't gonna be this hard a month from now. This is part of the process. And if little things keep happening, I will figure it out. And it's okay to go slow right now. I realize like I just haven't been able to do as much as I thought I would be able to. And that's because there's just so many little details I have to figure out and understand, and getting places and whatever. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how things fall into place a little bit better. But for the first week or first 4 days, I guess, I think overall things are going well. And I will see you next week.